Hello, women of Saba. This year's theme of International Women's Day is a call to exhilarate action. Imagine a world free of bias, stereotypes, and discrimination. A world where women stand equal, valued, and celebrated. This is not just a vision, it is a necessity. And for International Women's Day 2025, we must accelerate action. For over a century, International Women's Day has been a symbol of resilience and determination. Yet, at the current pace, gender parity will not be achieved until 2158, 5 generations from now. We cannot afford to wait. The time for change is now. The women of Saba are no strangers to strength. We have seen our mothers, grandmothers, and daughters balance work and family, challenge the status quo, and stand firm when silence would be easier. We have a legacy of strength and a future of possibility. But strength alone is not enough. We must push forward. We must ask, why do women still fight for equal pay, leadership, and opportunities? Why does domestic violence, financial dependency, and gender bias persist? The answers lie in action, not just conversation. Change begins with us. International Women's Day belongs to no one, yet belongs to us all. As Gloria Steinem said, the story of women's struggle for equality belongs to the collective efforts of all who care about human rights. We must unite, not just as women, but as a community to drive real change. Maya Angelou reminded us, each time a woman stands up for herself, she stands up for all women. And so we must stand for our sisters, daughters, and the generations that follow. One of the most powerful ways to accelerate action is by uplifting those who uplift others. Accelerate action is by supporting the supporters. This year, International Women's Day calls upon all of us to incorporate giving into activism, whether through mentorship, financial contributions, or direct actions. We must support those on the front line of change. Therefore, we must have collective action. And that is the power of unity. True gender equality demands action. Therefore, we must forge economic empowerment by ensuring access to fair wages, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. The Women in Finance movement started last year in Saba, and we will continue until every woman and man in Saba is financially literate. We must develop diverse talents by recruiting, retaining, and elevating women in public and private sectors. We must support women in leadership by mentoring and advocating for female voices and decision-making tables. We must improve infrastructure that supports women and girls. We must champion healthcare rights so every woman makes informed choices about her own body and her well-being. Expand education and training opportunities to create pathways for success. We must encourage female participation in business, politics, the arts, and STEM fields. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, women have historically been underrepresented in these disciplines. These are not just aspirations, these are necessities. The work starts here, in Saba, in our homes, in our workplaces, and in our community development of Saba. The women of Saba must lead this movement. We will not accept the status quo. We will not wait for the next generation to take up this fight. We will act boldly, decisively, and unapologetically. Join our Women's Empowerment Group. Even if you don't know what your role will be yet, sign up and we will find your path together. Women of Saba, you are powerful beyond measures. You are the leaders, the visionaries, and the change makers our community needs. Do not wait for permission. Do not seek validation. Stand firm in your purpose and step into your power. We do not celebrate International Women's Day for a moment of recognition. We celebrate it to ignite a movement that continues beyond today, beyond this year, and beyond this generation. So let us rise. Let us push forward. Let us accelerate action for the women of Saba, for our daughters, for every woman who will walk this path after us. The future is not something we will wait for. It is something we create. Let's create it together. This year, for International Women's Day, we want to celebrate those who are no longer with us, but who has put us on this path. Linda Johnson, Queen of Carnival and Costumes. Pauline Paul, she had a radio show that gave all kinds of information to the island long before we had Facebook. Mrs. Carmen Simmons, her contributions to Saba's culture through Saba's Carnival are legendary. Barbara Toten, owner of Scouts Place, will be remembered for her female entrepreneurship on Saba. And then, in no particular order, we'd like to remember Urinia Dinsey, Flossie Avery, Kathleen Dunluck, Rebecca Levstone, Laura Lindsay, Ruth Smith, Maud Atella Edwards, Leonie Lindsay, Suzanne Blyden, Maud Lindsay, Kenneth Wilson, Annie Parmenter, Clotilde Levinstone, Gloria Robinson, Hilda C. Levinstone, Juliette Sorton, Elizabeth Hassel, Ursula Duncan, Millicent Hassel, Millicent Wilson, Edna Woods, Claudia Whitfield, Eulalie Hassel, Agatha Wilson, and all the other women who started us on this path. We thank you.